Good morning and welcome back to a wet and miserable Dowerhouse Farms this morning. So anyone who doesn't know, anyone who's new to the channel, we're a beef and crops farm in East Cork in the south of Ireland, and we're still chancing our arm at saying we put up a video every day. We do it most days, to be fair. So our operation is we grow a wide array of crops: winter barley, wheat, oats, maize, beet, beans, and then we've about 60% crop. Our land is in crops, and about 40% is in grassland. We fatten the majority of our own cattle are Frisian bulls, and we also contract feed cattle for farmers. A concept I've been lucky enough to get a chance to do an Nuffield scholarship. Sorry, my old thing is a bit crooked. There we go, that's better. To do a Nuffield scholarship, and I got a chance to travel the world, and I've seen sort of firsthand how contract feeding is done and how it works. And I've bought that home and tried to add that to my own business. So it's a new concept in Ireland, it's not really done at all. So I'm just going to give you a run through that today. It's a business I'm keen to try and grow. So yeah, today's video is all about contract feeding. So one thing that's vital for our contract feeding operation is we grow the majority of the feed that we feed to our cattle is grown on the farm. So we're just able to, we have that little bit of a margin over a typical farmer who's buying in ration and is giving away that little bit of a few pound to whoever is making the ration for them. Obviously they can't work for nothing, we don't work for nothing either, but it's one of look at that, that's caught now. Pull that off. Not everything goes right with Dowerhouse Farms. So yeah, we have to feed a little bit cheaper than your average Joe soap, and really the best to feed. We put a lot of effort into saving feed. This is rolled barley, the main energy ingredient in all our diets. When you're feeding cattle really high concentrate diets, it's possible that they can get acidosis, and that's just basically the pH in the rumen goes wrong. So we feed numerous different products, supplements in the feed to allow us to be able to feed cattle more efficiently, better feed conversion, and better live weight gain. So there's 4 different products in there, all of which are going into the TMR just to help with feed efficiency and muscle growth and laying down fat and all them things. So they are for me to know, you to find out. Couldn't be giving you all my little secrets, sir. If no one sent me cattle to do it, then you all do it yourself. But yeah, I put a huge emphasis on TMR formulation and ensuring that like animals' dung is right, and that's a great indication of how they're thriving. Look, we not alone for our customers but also for our own cattle, we have to maximise growth, especially now the cattle are so valuable. The most expensive thing to do with an animal now is not feed them like it used to be, it's to buy them. So when you have given a lot of money for animals, it really makes sense to send them down to someone like us, a specialised finisher, just to make sure you get every single ounce of weight you can on that animal as efficiently as possible. So our aim is to grow everything we feed on the farm ourselves. Now as the amount of cattle has grown, probably our crop storage hasn't grown as fast as has the contract feeding business and our own cattle operation. So we don't have enough storage for year round, but it's all Irish feed with the exception of we do buy in soya. We find it the best source of protein at the moment, and the most economic source big part of our diet is straw. Every diet contains a lot of straw, which may be surprising to some people, but it's a vital part in ensuring again rumen health, which is the most important thing when you're finishing cattle. No point in putting in loads of really good feed if it's going straight out the other end of them. God, it's a wet old morning. We haven't had a morning like this in months. Next ingredient in the mix is red clover silage. This is what forms a large portion of our protein source, but as I said, not all. We do feed soya as well. Now, I have a competition for you, and the winner gets to send me 50 cattle to contract finish. Put in the pause and put in the comments below what you think is the last ingredient in the diet. Go on, comment below. Back on Rich Bucket for this ingredient. Congratulations to those of you who got it right. Well guessed, it's liquid gold. And there was a good few of you got it right, so you can all send me 50 cattle each to contract feed. I'm only joking, of course it's water. Why are we adding water to our diet? It's to make sure that the dry matter content in the TMR is right. If it's too dry, intakes will drop off, because if it's too dry they just won't eat as much, and if it's too wet they won't eat as much. So we add water to bring the diet to the exactly right dry matter content, which is for me to know and you not. Because if you all knew these things, you wouldn't be sending me cattle to finish them. So I have to keep some secret up my sleeve. Okay, I'll tell you. 37 to 38% is ideal dry matter for TMR to maximise intakes, rumen health and prevent acidosis. There's nearly 400 kilos of water gone into this mix. So half of that of course will spill out by the time I get to the feeder. It's usually not that bad. I'm just driving on a bit extra now for the camera. You gotta get the good content, lads. Oh no, there was half a bucket of spilled out there and I'm only going slow. Do well. So all our feeding, this is actually feeding straw. Our feeding straw is chopped, our bedding straw isn't. But I'm going to use this for bedding now today because it's to rain until after lunch here today, so that straw will get too wet and the dry matter won't be where I want it for tomorrow's mix. So we just have to sacrifice it and use it for bedding. But that's what we're willing to do at our house farm, to make sure that every diet is the exact same every day to maximise animal performance. Said I changed to the silage bike or the dung fork, whatever it is, save a bit of time. Some automatic straw spreaders here at our house farms too. They're called Frisian Bulls. They absolutely will have this scattered out in 2 minutes. Cattle do really well in those outdoor pens as well. Ah lads, come on, you're not playing ball. Every mix get mixed for the same length of time every day. Make sure consistency is exactly the same every day. That'll take another 3 minutes and it'll be ready then. We have these wires off now, but we use these sort of for bulls and cows. They're a great job for Frisian cows. We sort of set them to, we just bend them to whatever height we want and turn on the fence, so it just stops the cows from bulling and getting hurt. They're Frisian bulls. We had the wires on for maybe 3 days when they came in, just till they settled down. But the best way to stop cattle from jumping is have the diet right. If you have the diet right, you'll have no injuries. Keep them full, keep their bellies full with a balanced diet, and you'll have no injuries. So these are bullocks, they're here about a month. Nice pen of bullocks, they'll be probably another 2 months ish, they'll be ready to go. And these are belong to another pen of heifers. They're here I think 5 weeks today, so another 5 weeks now and they'll be more than fit. They're coming very nicely and they're growing very well. For Angus heifers who are on a very strong diet, they're growing really well. But again, that's down to the diet and down to the nutrition and having it bang on. So depending on the type of animal and the client's wishes and their weight, etc., when they come, their stay at our house farm will be sort of typically between 70 and 120 days, some 150 for very big continental cattle. But yeah, it all depends on the cattle. Most cattle go on the same diet. Frisian cows or cull cows do go on a different diet, alright, but all the rest of them sort of stay on the same diet and they all do really well in it. It's just, it would be too, for the size of intake of cull cows, there'd be too much energy in it. Look at this fella, he's been quite hot. Something we give a lot of time looking at our house farms is poo. Maybe not for everyone, but I'm fierce interested in it. What sort of a weirdo is this fella you're saying? Well, if you want to know if your diet is 100% correct, keep an eye on your animal's poo, because that will tell you exactly if there's anything off. If the rumen is anyway upset at all, you'll see it first in the poo and secondly in their intake. So we're constantly walking through pens every day, picking out any fella that may be a little bit lame, or if their poo isn't 100% correct. We're lucky we've next to no issues with lameness. The odd one here and there, but you're lucky, you'll always have that. All animals are vaccinated when they get here for pneumonia and their dose for worms and lice. And because we want to make sure that the two most important factors to make sure that your cattle put on weight if you send them to our house farms is their health, number one, and that has what has a lot of bearing on that is their lifetime health. We will do everything in our power to make sure their health while they're during their stay at our house farms is as good as possible. But if they've been sick all along their life, maybe that mightn't be their health status mightn't be as good as we'd like. And secondly, and most importantly, is their diet. If you keep their diet right, Jesus, it's lashing right now. If you keep their diet right, you will alleviate 99% of health problems. When we're doing our mixes, we use a program called Feedlink to record exactly what goes into every pen every day to make sure they all get the right amount, and to be able to record what different customers' cattle get fed. So they're 15 kilos short now, but that's okay. So when I press next pen now, that automatically goes to a database to say that that pen were fed that amount today. Anyone who's familiar to the channel will have seen this shed set up a couple of different ways, and this shed is here 10 years and I'd say it's never been the same twice. So I'm after clearing out that column of barley, piling it up there, and I've put the blocks there because the soy is in the top shed and I have to go the whole around the yard to get to it. So I'm going to put the soy in there now, and maybe the nuts as well, or we'll put the nuts maybe there, and I don't know, we'll work it out somehow anyway. But yeah, it's always changing around here. All these walls started off on the silage slab, but over time we started taking them away. They're not fully suitable, so I have a couple spare, so I'm going to put a line of them there now as well, and just a little bit more room for tip and beat. They'll pile it a little bit higher. So this is the last one gone. They're a good job because they're a very easy move. They were bolted together when they were being used as silage walls, just so they wouldn't move, and to be honest they still moved, but They don't really need to be bolted together just for grain or that, because you don't have the same weight. So not with raw grain anyway. So it's just pick them up with the paddle forks and they're a good job. When we're putting out our feed, you'll notice that we don't ram it up against the barrier. We always just put it sort of within reach of the cattle. That's why they don't, and we push it up then 2 or 3 times a day. Again, just to maximise intakes. That's what it's all about. This game is about intake and feed efficiency. You can't put on weight if they're not eating. So the more you push it up, the more they'll eat, the more weight they'll put on. And it's all about just getting the exact right amount of feed in front of them every day, because the more you put it ahead of them, the less they'll eat if you put too much ahead of them. So it's very important just to keep the exact right amount of feed ahead of them. These heifers now, they're really starting to fly. It's only now they're really starting to eat a lot of feed. They're after doing really well for the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, however long they're here. But it's only now that they're really motoring. Their intakes all along had been about 80% of the total diet, whereas the bullocks are eating 100%, but the heifers are now up to about 90%, which is great. Look, cost again at the moment. Cost again at the moment, relative to the value of the weight they're putting on, is very low. Cost of feed is probably as cheap now as it's been for the last 4 or 5 years. So that's great, and we're able to pass that on to our customers. And yeah, look, it's a system that works well. We finish a lot of cows for dairy farmers. These are dairy farmers who are caught for nitrates, or maybe caught for feed or space or labour, don't have the facilities to finish these cows, but they want to maximise their profitability out of these cows. Look, if you go to the mart, you get your money, but the person buying that animal has a margin out of that animal, otherwise they wouldn't be buying them. So if you're a dairy farmer, why give away that margin? Why not just send them down to us for 100 days, and after the cost of feed and all that, you'll have that extra margin. So it works really well, especially, as I said, for people who are caught for nitrates, or people who are locked up with TB. Again, we're a registered finishing unit, so we can only sell cattle out of here to the factory, so we can take in from restricted herds. That's another big way that we get cattle. And then if you're a summer grazer, look, cattle are so dear at the moment. The biggest cost is buying them. You go back last year, and for the last 10-15 years, cost of production was the thing. It wasn't actually the cost of purchasing them, but now cost of purchasing them is by far the biggest cost. So if you have the biggest cost spend, why not go that little bit extra and maximise your return from those animals? Finishing off grass is environmentally friendly, but it's not the best way or the cheapest way to get the best way to get a return out of those animals. The best way to get a return out of those animals is get them into a shed, get them onto a high energy, high protein, well balanced diet, not particularly high protein, but optimum protein, well balanced diet, and get as many kilos on those cattle as you can to maximise your return from them. So yeah, that's the summer grazers. We have a couple of people, not many now, but it's sort of growing. I suppose this is a new concept. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but the summer grazer sending cattle to us, so maybe they let their cattle out in March, April, keep them until maybe May, June, send them down to us when they're whatever 500, 550 kilos for 100 days, up to 600 kilos for 100 days. Cattle need to be over 450 coming to us. Anything under that, they're here too long, and you don't get, for the type of system we have, 450 up that's the sweet spot. Ideally in or about 500, they're the cattle that really thrive when they come into our system. So yeah, they send them down to us May, June, and they go off and buy another bundle, and then send that bundle down to us in September, October, November, whenever suits. And you've you're doubling your output off the farm without changing your nitrates or any of that. So yeah, look, it's part of our business that's becoming more popular. But and look, the other side of the business where I see huge potential growth, it's not there at the moment. Well, it's not this loader. It's where diesel was got for nothing. But it's not there at the moment. But it's people investing in cattle. It's done all over the world. Every other country in the world, it's a thing. So you go out and you buy your stocks, shares on the stock market. You ride the markets up and down. You get out at an optimal time and you pocket cash. So why not buy cattle? Why not buy cattle? You never have to handle them. Give us an order. You want X amount of cattle, or you want to invest X amount of money for X amount of time, and you'll own the cattle, and you'll be billed monthly for the feed, and you'll get your return at the end of the period that you opt to leave your money in for. It's in the States, especially Australia, you have hedge funds, pension funds, buying cattle, putting them into feedlots, and that's and getting a return on their money. Look, that could be a long way down the line for this business, but it's where I probably see it going and where I see the most room for expansion. But look, that's the big dream. So yeah, anyway, that's sort of the contract finished now. I don't know what I was doing next. I was going to feed the calves, I suppose. I haven't them fed yet. And I've all my walls moved now. Probably move again. But anyway, we've got to go feed some sucks. So this fella isn't feeling the best. We're going to give him a shot. He just has a bit of a sore leg. So this is our handling facility. Goes out around the back there, around the shed. And when they come out of the crush, they come in here. This is what we use this as a sick bay. Sometimes if the one outside is full, or if we're just a bit caught in space, we put boards across here, and this barrier swings back around here. And when if we're just using, this is also our holding pen for cattle that come out of the crush. So this gate closes up here, and this one connects onto it. And to get them back out around, then this is our alley, brings them back out around, and that's the holding yard for before they go into the crush round then, and that's our crush just at the back of that wall there. So it works really well, nice and simple. It's sort of been developed like the rest of the shed. It's moved and changed and chopped and looked a lot of different ways over the last 10 years since I built this shed first. But yeah, I think we've settled on a fairly good design now in the end. Works fairly well. I'm hoping to upgrade the crush part of it to a hydraulic crush there maybe next year. So I'm in the market for one of them. Any Arrowquip or Clipex or any of them lads out there who'd like to sponsor me a free hydraulic crush, get in touch. With all my talk now, I've got to open his gate into his pen. Any chance now you would just oblige and go in there? Don't go out there. You don't want to go outside. It's all wet and cold out there. Go on, in there. Good boy. Go on, come on. Good lad you are. He's just in a pen on his own for the time being. Give him a little bit of TLC. There, his pals in there. He's grand. Thank God we don't have to do much doctoring to animals, but when you see that boy close the gate with one hand. When you have a couple of hundred animals on the place all the time, you're always going to have little bits of niggles, but we have good everywhere. We have finishing cattle in 2 different yards, and we have good handling facilities on both them yards, because look, if there is an animal that gets well, we never really get pneumonia, but look, we'd have lame animals or whatever. Look, you could have the odd case of pneumonia, maybe we haven't had one now in a long time, but ventilation in all our sheds is fairly good. But if there is a sick animal and you do need to look after them, you need to be able to do it one-man job, and we can, all our handling facilities are set up that one man can work them on their own. So what we're currently using is sort of a homemade job. We used to have an automatic gate here, and this was the end of our crush wheel set. So I took off the automatic gate and put in the skeleton gate. I got these two Clip-X gates and this Clip-X head gate at ploughing match one year, and I sort of just made up the rest myself. As you can see, I think that's a bit off a roller, that's a bit I cut off a feeder, a couple of bits of box. This is actually important. We put this in a couple of years ago because when they're on the scales and they're a little bit higher up, sometimes they can like say, oh, I go out over the front of it. But this little bit here, since we put this in, we haven't had one animal try to go out over the front of it. So look, it's important to keep them safe. Bit of all angular in there, just bolted onto the wall. Not fancy, but does the job. This gate now, I've just patented. Bit of box iron, bit of pipe, bit of threaded bar, few lock nuts, bit of plate, and an old hinge, or what do you call this, a bolt. So very fancy, all homemade. There's Pippa, some of you'll know her, 100% useless dog. So they come out, this is our holding pen here when they come out of the shed or out of the crush. This gate closes over and joins up with that one there, and this is our holding pen here. And when they're finished, then they'll go back into one of them pens, or they go back out here, and that's the holding pen for before they go into the crush out here. I'll show you that. Most of you've probably seen it, haven't you? I dropped the bale down in this gate one day and bent it. Someone rang me today actually to know what Condon's gate's good. We have this shed up 10 years, and I think that's the only thing that's ever bent, and that was my own fault. Like, and they're after some hardship, them gates now. There's a touch of rust in them or anything, like. Jeez, it is really high quality stuff, and they're a great crowd to deal with. So yeah, this is our crush. Before they go into the crush, they go down there, round that corner and into the crush at the back there. And nothing fancy. We put in these gates, these extra poles this year. They're sort of a safety gap, so just in case the cattle are rushing or whatever, you can step out. And we have the same on this one here. This gate can open out to that pole. I must drill holes in that one first. But yeah, so just you can get it so you'll never be cornered by cattle. You can slip out. So this is our calf shed / finishing house / bale shed. So that one's be cleaned out now. But this is our automatic feeder in here. Go back to my videos there all spring, and you'll see how it works. And I think there's like 200 bales in there now. I thought I'd get in 150, but Fong actually did nearly lift the roof getting them in there. You got them all in fairness, / meal shed at the moment. So we can put 130 calves in here, or we can finish it. If the bales aren't there, we can put about 40 per side. Finishing, we'll just put about 30 per side now this time. There'll be bulls going in here now, probably 2 weeks time maybe. And yeah, that's why I wanted to get the side down to the bottom shed, which is down there. And that's why I took the walls out of. This is our other shed. An older shed, but very functioning shed, very good functioning shed. Cattle do very well in it. Airflow through it is excellent, as you can see. They're all happy out. It's a lovely shed actually. We have we have, what you call them, these doors that we can put up here and here during the winter if it gets too breezy or whatever. But at the moment now, when it's warm, we have them down. These bulls are in 6 weeks today, I think, and they are flying it. Poor devil is so full he can hardly get up. I could seriously do it a Lely June up here or something. I do not like using pikes. This is the only place I use it. But yeah, we pike in the silage here twice a day. First thing in the morning, like 6:30 or 6 o'clock, whatever time we're starting. And in the evening again, they get fed in about 10 o'clock. And they get fed at 9 o'clock at home in the home yard. And they get pushed in at about 3 and about 7 o'clock. So it's all about driving intakes. The majority of your nutritionists will work off like a 2% of body weight in dry matter intake per day. We're always 2.5, and we're always hitting that target, maybe even a touch above it at times. And says you, but should they're eating more feed then it'll cost more? Yes, but your cost again is low, and like you want to be driving intakes. Intakes is what drives weight gain. If they're not eating, they won't put on weight. The more they eat, once the diet is right, the more weight they'll put on. These bulls are all in serious order now for cattle in 6 weeks. Bulls typically tend to take sort of 16 weeks, 15, 16 weeks. You're right, lad. I am, I'm having a snooze. But we walk the pens every day, if not twice a day. And monitoring their poop, monitoring that none of them are lame. Couldn't be more ideal. That is exactly what you want. Y'all do poop when they get up? That's disgusting. Ooh! This fella's a beast. Come on, lad, hop up. He is so good. And this fella, mother of God. So, wires off. We only have man again for 2 days. This is our these two are our biggest pens. They take about 50 cattle each. Between 40 and 55 depending on the size of the cattle. Probably 40 cows or big continental cattle. There's actually 55 in this pen now and there's plenty of room. So, and there's I think there's 40 something over there. These are all our own bulls. So basically we can accommodate most size groups. Way you know. We might have to split them over 2 or 3 pens, or we might be able to put them into 1 pen. But yeah, so well, a minimum of sort of 12 is the, and smaller than that, you won't be able to fill our smallest pen, so it wouldn't really work. But yeah, look, I'm going to put my number and my email address in the bio below. I was going to put it in at the start of the video, but then I said no, I said there's no point. I said I'll put it in at the end of the video. Anyone who's interested in this will probably watch the video through and they'll know where to get my details. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was insightful. Any questions, please put them below, or comments. What do you think of the system? Do you think it's a good idea? Is it something you'd be interested in? Look, my passion is fattening cattle, growing cattle is what I love doing. Not really what I was brought up with. We were only tillage farmers. Dad was always full tillage, but when I went home, I started getting more into the cattle side of it. So that's it now. I'm going to leave it there for today's video. I hope you liked it. Hit the like button and make sure and subscribe. Bit slow on that subscribe. Oh, shut up. These seatbelts. God, you can do nothing without being given out these days. Yeah, a bit slow on the subscribers building up there these days, but yeah, so that's it. Like and subscribe, and I suppose we'll see you again tomorrow for more Darhouse Farms. Good luck.